So the Razzie Awards were revealed, and it looks like Joker Folie à Doudou is leading the Razzie Award nominations, which, recognize the worst movies and performances of the year, which they racked up a total of 7 nominations. And also the Little Monsters, they heard about this, and so they already pissed off in regards of Lady Gaga being one of the worst actress nominations for the Razzies. But we'll get into their stuff in a minute. But let's go by what the Deadline article. So it says in the running for Worst Picture at the 45th Golden Raspberry Awards, they said that Borderlands, Joker, Folie à Doudou, Marvel's Madam Web, Francis Ford Coppola's Passion Project Megalopolis, or as we should call it, Megaflopolis, because it was a huge box office bomb, and presidential biopic Reagan, which starred another Trump supporter. What's his name? Jack Quaid's father, Dennis. Yeah, so that movie flopped. I didn't even know that movie came out. I had heard rumblings about it, but I ain't know nothing about that damn Ronald Reagan movie. But anyway, so they said not coincidentally, all 5 are tied with 6 Razzie noms apiece. Those film helmers are also up for the director prize, except for Coppola. Jerry Seinfeld took that 5th slot for his Pop-Tarts comedy Unfrosted, which I had heard that was like one of the worst movies of the year. And I've even heard people who are like real big Seinfeld fans say how they were disappointed in that film. Me personally, I've never been a real Seinfeld fan. He's not my cup of tea in regards of like um comedy and stuff. Like I don't find him funny. So I never understood, like even watching even Seinfeld, I never got the appeal of Seinfeld. He was just never my judge. But when you got hardcore Seinfeld fans out here saying that Pop Tarts comedy Unfrosted was god awful, when they was hoping that it was going to be similar to like the Tetris movie or even like what was it, the hot Cheeto situation that they came out with, that one that was on Hulu, I believe, where it was something like, what was the hot Frito, something like that. With, I think Eva Longoria was on it in it, or I think she was behind the scenes in it, but I think she was also in. I never got around to watching that film, even though it is on my list of films that I wanted to watch, but I never got around to that film, unfortunately. But I'm gonna get around to it. So this from How the Mighty Have Fallen department, among the men and women nominated for acting Razzies are Academy winners Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga for Folie à Doudou, Kate Blanchett for Borderlands, Ariana DeBose, Argyle and Craven the Hunter, and John Voight, Megalopolis, and Reagan. And it's sad because, you know what, I like Ariana DeBose, but she's been just falling in a lot of shitty movies lately. I'm glad that she got it for, she got her Oscar for playing Anita in West Side Story, even though that movie bombed. But it was I thought the movie was good based off of, what Steven Spielberg put together. A lot of people didn't go see it. I saw it at home. It was a long ass movie, by the way, but then the original movie was long. And I like what she brought to the film, but it was sad that the only time we got 2 Latinos to win an Oscar was based off of playing the same damn part. When you had Rita Moreno played the part like 60 something plus years ago, and then you had Ariana DeBose winning it for West Side Story. But Argyle, god awful. I have not seen Craven the Hunter yet. I want to see it. I've heard people say that Craven is not as bad as everybody's trying to make it out to be. So I'm just going to wait until it pops up on one of the streaming services, because I already know it's available on digital. And I'm going to wait until, the streaming service starts to show it. I'm trying to think, because it's Warner Brothers, more than likely it's gonna no, it's Sony. I'm sorry. Who knows where they're gonna outsource it, because Sony doesn't have a streaming service. So more than likely it'll probably, like Madam Web, end up on Netflix. So I'll just wait maybe a month or two, and then it'll probably pop up on Netflix. Sidebar, I'm already irritated because who ain't been in office but not even 72 hours. And already Netflix, is going up in a damn price, because we see how you corporations are starting to do. Y'all line yourselves with, all you oligarchs and robber barons all starting to align yourselves with a certain regime, and then y'all want to start hiking up your prices. You ain't gonna be surprised. I mean, and I'm glad that Netflix has really been doing the thing in regards of like more people are subscribing and stuff. But if y'all thinking that people are gonna be paying $25 a month with no ads, y'all have lost your damn mind. So What else? Oh, so they said Unfrozen got 4 total Razzie noms, and The Crow reboot has 2. Winners will be announced March 1st, the day before the Oscars. Now, I believe this week we're supposed to get the nominations for the Oscars. I'm looking forward to hearing that. But in the meantime, I'm like, I'm not surprised with The Crow being on there because everybody said how bad that movie was. And I think also I'm curious to see how bad it is. I have not gone to the movies to see it. I kind of just based off of the trailer and everything, I really wasn't that impressed. And then hearing all the reviews and reading all the reviews and watching all the reviews from the YouTubers that I trust, that I watch a lot of the review shows, I was like, I'm not wasting my money on no damn Crow. So I'm gonna wait until it comes up on one of the streaming services, which you already know it's about to soon. And I don't know which one, but whenever it pops up, I'll go on there and I'll give it a gander, and then I'll probably be pissed off. And then, but no, not really. I wouldn't be that pissed off because we all have the Brandon Lee movie, and we still hold that one to a high standard. So, and then the Nine Inch Nails music that was in that film. So we have that one. So let's go through this real quick, and then we can move on to the next topic. So this says worst picture: Borderlands, Joker Folie à Doodoo, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. Best worst actor: Jack Black, Dear Santa, which the whole thing about Satan thing. I heard that movie was bad too. Zachary Levi, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Well, look, his horrible acting ass is over there doing them old, Christian radicalist movies and stuff. Whatever. So then we got Joaquin for Folie à Doodoo, Dennis Quaid for Reagan, and Jerry Seinfeld for Unfrosted. Actress, worst actress, Kate Blanchett, Borderlands. Well, I think everybody was bad in that damn movie. Lady Gaga, Folie à Doodoo, Bryce Dallas Howard, Argyle, Dakota Johnson, Madam Web, and Jennifer Lopez for Atlas. Sidebar, I got some tea on Jennifer Lopez and Jessica Chastain. So word on the curb, because I got this from a source. I ain't gonna tell you who because I don't want them to lose. Well, I don't want something to happen because. So apparently there was word that because with the fires and everything that's going on in LA, Jennifer Lopez was actually looking at Jessica Chastain's apartment in Midtown that she was looking to purchase, but the real estate person said that they don't think that's going to happen, that she's going to get the place. They said she was a little high maintenance and all this other stuff, and this is a very trusted source, so I be knowing people who know people who know people, and then he told me this, but I ain't going to say who it actually is because I don't want something to happen or whatever. If they're a tenant, if they work there, whatever the case. But I was like, ooh, damn, do I look like the type of face that people just should be supplying this celebrity information to? I do. Because y'all know what we do over here. Okay, so then it says supporting actor, Jack Black, voice only for Borderlands, Kevin Hart for Borderlands, Shia LaBeouf, he was in drag for that movie. For Megaflopless, Tahar Rahim for Madam Web, and John Voight. Well, anything John Voight is in, he's god awful in. I think now he is, but back in the day he wasn't. Then supporting actress Ariana DeBose, Argyle Craven Hunter, Leslie Ann Down as Margaret Thatcher, and Reagan, Emma Roberts for Madam Web. Emma Roberts was in Madam Web? I still have not seen Emma Web. I didn't know she was in there. Amy Schumer, well, anything Amy Schumer is in, she's terrible. For Unfrosted, and FKA Twigs the Crow. I've heard so many people say they don't know what the hell they were thinking putting FKA Twigs in that movie. Now, I like FKA Twigs, and it's funny how she and her ex-boyfriend, Shia LaBeouf, are both nominated in the worst actor and actress department, respectively. Funny how that works. But everybody was saying, like, where did they find this girl? Because she is terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like FKA Twigs, the musician, but it just goes to show that just because you're good at making music and being a performer does not necessarily mean that you could translate that to the screen and be an actor. And so then they have best director, screen combo, prequel, remake, rip-off, a sequel. Well, prequel, remake, rip-off, a sequel. They have The Crow, Folie à Doodoo, Craven the Hunter, Mufasa. Like, damn, y'all went in on Mufasa. I heard Mufasa wasn't that bad. So I don't know if Mufasa should be on here, but I could definitely agree with Rebel Moon 2. They need to put first of all, you should have put Rebel Moon and Rebel Moon 2 in replacement of Mufasa. I don't think it's fair that you put Mufasa, like Mufasa got that straight. Because from what I've heard from people, they're like, you know what, it's not as good as like if you hold anything up to the original Lion King animated film from like the 90s, I don't think anything could combat with that. But what Barry Jenkins, from what I'm hearing, brought to Mufasa the Lion King, it actually elevates it and makes it, it's a watchable movie, but it's not something that I guess 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, we will be holding up to this high regard like we do The Lion King. The Lion King will always be one of my all-time favorite animated movies since I've been a kid. Like I know like they have like the Snow Whites and the Cinderellas and the Sleeping Beauties, but that was like my parents' time, and I had to watch those because I was a kid and there was animated stuff. But when it comes to like my generation of growing up and you making those animated films within my lifetime, I always have to go with like The Lion King. The Lion King and Aladdin. Those are like my two favorite animated movies from Disney as a kid growing up. So I don't like the fact that they put Mufasa on his list. And then for screenplay, they have Foley Adudu. I said Jolie. Foley Adudu, Craven the Hunter, Madam Web, Megalophlopolis, and Reagan. So those are the picks for the Razzies. Oh, and before we get out of here, I almost forgot. So apparently, the Lady Gaga fans are mad. The little monsters are pissed off because their Lord and Savior has been put in the worst category. Well, she's got nominated for like in the worst movie category, all the other stuff. So some of the fans said the following: the Razzies can go fuck themselves because they just want attention by nominating Gaga and Joaquin there. Their excuse is the movie was bad, so everything about it was bad. Another person said a lot of Gaga scenes were cut. Critics say she was underused, and now they put her in there. It's just so effing unfair. Well, here's the thing: we're not. They're not going by what scenes was cut. They're going by what's on the screen. Now, me personally, like I said, I have not seen Foley Adudu. I know it's on Max right now, so I can't judge her on what her performance was. I did hear that she was okay, and yeah, she was underused. But if that's what they usually do with these films when they do the Razzies, have y'all not ever paid attention to the Razzies, or are you only paying attention because your fave was nominated? Everything ain't always going to be copacetic and great and all this other stuff. And first of all, who really takes the, no shade, but who really takes the Razzies seriously? I just think the Razzies is just there to kind of be the thorn in the ass of the Oscars. So it's the anti, and it's like we just give the worst stuff. That's why. But I will say this: I do love the fact that Halle Berry once upon a time came out and actually showed up at the Razzies to accept her Worst Actress award for Catwoman. So I do love how she was a good sport with that. And it's just like, okay, monsters, calm down. It's not that damn serious. And look, your fave cannot excel at everything. So another person said Lady Gaga was very much not the problem in that movie. And actually, one of the biggest problems is they didn't do enough with her. Other queer stars and queer favorites included this year's Razzies nominations list are, well, they had Ariana DeBose and Kate Blanchett. So blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so they're all upset over the fact that their girl got nominated. It's like, okay, so she wasn't used a lot. And maybe well, they needed a worse actress to put in the category, so they were gonna put. I just think that maybe Lady Gaga got that straight just by default. So maybe that's what it could be. If I saw the movie, then I can go a little in further on being like, well, you know what, she wasn't even that great in the film. But I can't say that because I didn't see it. But maybe the reason why she's getting this straight is because yeah, Foley Adudu was a horrible ass movie, which a lot of people were saying. The only people that's really going hard for is like them hardcore Joker fans or whatever. That's just gonna blindly turn an eye to the fact that this was a project that the director did not want to make. Joaquin did not want to make. Warner Brothers was so hell bent on making this damn movie, they probably offered them something they couldn't refuse, which would be a lot of money, and they took it. And they're like, you know what? So, well, since you can't beat them, join them. And if they're not going to just leave us alone about making this damn sequel because it made $1 billion, which sometimes if a movie is $1 billion thing, it's a one and done. Let it be a one and done. Everything is not meant to be a damn franchise. And I don't think that the director of the film, Todd Haynes, had any inclination of wanting to make this a franchise. So that's why they should have just left it as it was. But Warner Brothers being greedy, this is what they went with. And so then they're like, well, okay, let's just throw shit at the wall and see what's stuck and just write it up in the damn script. It doesn't have to make sense because people are too dumb that they're going to go to the movies and they're going to see the film regardless. This is probably the mindset that these dingbats that's running Warner Brothers was thinking at the time. And then when the movie came out, they were like, people were smart enough to keep their ass home. They're like, I'm not going to see that shit. Like, who asked for this? I mean, and at the same time, I'm like, you know what? The musical idea that came up with, where it was like all in his head, a fantasy situation, and then he would do musical numbers. I'm like, okay, there's an interesting twist on this franchise. So I would have been willing to go with that. But then reading about the spoilers and all that other stuff, because I already know what happened to him at the end. All the different twists and turns and stuff they decided to take with this film, I'm just like, what? Like, you just I just think you just intentionally tanked this film and just took the money and ran. So, look, that's why the movie is what it is. And unfortunately, Lady Gaga had to get the stray. So yeah, they probably could have did more with her character of Harley Quinn, but you know what? She signed on to the film and she did what they told her to do, and she was the worst part of it. I mean, look, if she wins it, then y'all could be a little bit mad. She was just nominated. I'm sure she's probably not even gonna win it. But then again, if you think about it, she just might. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Excuse me, regarding the Razzie nominations as well as the Gaga stands all upset because their fave got nominated in the Razzie category. Look, everybody can't get nominated for an Oscar. Sometimes you just got to take the good and the bad, and sometimes, okay, you want to nominate me for a bad award or whatever for being a horrible actress or actor, okay. What that got to do with the price of tea in China? It doesn't change anything. It just is what it is. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.